Update. My 40 female husband, 42 male, told me our daughter's friend, 18 female, tried it on with him. I didn't react well. Original post. The last couple of weeks, my husband has been very quiet and not sleeping well. I've asked him a couple of times if he's okay, and he said yes, but I could tell something was bothering him. On Saturday, he said he needed to talk to me and burst into tears. I made us a cup of tea and sat down with him. He just blurted it out and said Ava, our daughter's friend, had been coming on to him and he didn't know what to do. He said it started when he made a cake for her 18th birthday party. She messaged him saying she got his number from our daughter and thanked him for the cake. She then sent a lot of photos of herself in the dress she wore for the party. He just replied, saying it looked like a fun party. She then messaged asking if he could look at her car for her, as it was making a funny noise. She came round and he looked at it and said it was the brakes. He told me this at the time, so he wasn't hiding anything. She came around when our daughter was home, but I wasn't, and she went inside while my husband worked on the car outside. When it was done, she came out alone and said she had no money on her, and he said that's fine, just bring it around whenever or give it to our daughter. She then said she could pay another way, and in his words, flashed me and I said I've got to go and went inside, closing the door. I read through all the messages and he never replied to any of them after this incident. That afternoon she messaged him saying, "Thanks for doing my car for me. You're cute when you're shy." She's messaged him hundreds of times since, asking if he's alone, asking for lifts, asking if he thinks she's pretty, and she sent loads of pics, from fully clothed to fully nude. My husband has said he didn't know whether to reply, to talk to her parents, or to talk to me. He said he's scared he's going to ruin our daughter's life if this comes out. I don't know why, but I suddenly exploded. I called him a pervert. I said he must have led her on. I said he must have paid her, as he's far too old and ugly for her. I called him disgusting and said I wanted him out of the house. I said he's ruined our daughter's life, and plenty of other awful things. I stormed out of the house, and when I came back an hour later, he was gone. Over the last couple of days, I've calmed down and realized he's done nothing wrong, and I reacted awfully. I've tried ringing and messaging him, but he's not responding. Why did I react like that, and how do I apologize to him? What do we do about these messages? Do we talk to her or her parents? Now for the top advice before reading the update. I don't really know what the answer is, but I can tell you, you've probably done some serious damage to your relationship with your husband. He tried to be honest with you. This was obviously weighing heavily on him if he cried, and you just crapped all over him and blamed him. Poor dude. He definitely won't be so transparent with OP in the future. She broke his trust. Which future? She basically told him he's old and far too ugly to be attractive to females, so he must have paid the girl. For me, that would be the deal breaker. You victim blamed your husband. He came to you scared and afraid, and you blamed him? He came to you for support, and you betrayed him. You're his wife. You're supposed to be his partner. You're supposed to trust him. He's supposed to be able to come to you when times are hard and you betrayed him. You should be ashamed of yourself. He believed in you. I hope he doesn't come back. Instead of talking about speaking to the girl's family, first you should speak with your husband. Yep, divorce ASAP. OP probably drove him right to the 18-year-old. Why has your husband not blocked her number? And why are you assuming that this is his fault? Is it because you're not going to believe your husband of how many years over an 18-year-old child who's coming on to him? You're the a-hole. I don't know what came over me. I've never been the jealous or insecure type. I just suddenly got a massive pang of jealousy and pictured him with a younger, better-looking woman and lost it. This is all on me, not him. This right here is what you need to tell him. It's the only thing that could possibly make this okay with him. Tell him that you don't think he's old and ugly. You are jealous because you were scared of losing him to a younger, prettier woman. Your words, not mine. This is human. Mini update. It's 5 a.m. here in the UK now, and I'm going to drive to his brother's house, where he's staying, as I know he leaves for work about 6. I'm going to try and talk to him face to face. I've got flowers, chocolates, and I'm wearing his favorite outfit. I'll let you all know what happens. Now for the full update. So I went round to his brother's house yesterday morning at 5:30 a.m. to wait for him to leave for work so I could talk to him. I wore his favorite dress of mine and took him chocolate, flowers, and a letter I'd written for him. The talk went how a lot of you expected it to go. He told me he'd spoken to a lawyer and wanted a divorce. He said he can't get past what I said, and as soon as he laid eyes on me, he felt nothing but anxiety and a need to run. He said he'll never get over what I said and how I acted, and that's that. I know I deserve this, but I am still incredibly heartbroken. Last night, he also met up with our daughter and told her everything, and she is also not talking to me and said she's going to live with her dad when this is over. She also said her friend has been saying for years that she fancies my husband, but thought it was just stupid talk and she wouldn't actually do anything. She's still friends with Ava, but told her she will fall out with her if she does anything else. My husband also spoke to the girl's parents, who didn't really seem to give a damn. They said she's 18 and can do what she wants, and they are sorry she's tried to get with a married man, but they can't ban her from talking to people. She'll be going to uni in September, so they don't want to cause any unrest before she goes. My husband said he felt a lot more relaxed once he'd spoken to them and our daughter, so hopefully he can sleep now. So too long didn't read. Everyone knows now I'm the bad guy, and Ava got away with no punishment. Why would Ava have gotten in trouble? She is a legal adult. Sure, she shouldn't have flirted with someone married, but that's life. It happens. Going to her parents was going to change absolutely nothing. He just went there to clear his name in case anything came of it. But the impression he got was as this wasn't even the first time it's happened. I'm sorry everyone is crapping on you, OP. Try to find a good therapist you can talk out your feelings and why you reacted like that. Then if you still want to be with your husband, try again. I'm already booked in to see a therapist about impulse control and anger management. Kind of disappointed that your daughter's choosing to stay friends with her considering she's been sexually harassing her dad. That would be a deal breaker for me. Same. I can't believe she would stay friends with little slag who tried to steal my husband. Next story. My BFF says she won't set me up with her male friend because I cheated on her brother 4 years ago. Should I still pursue things anyway? Original post. For background, my friend Amina and I, both 27 females, have been friends since kindergarten. There was a point in time when I considered her my best friend. In high school, I started dating her younger brother, Sean. We dated for about 6 years. We had a great relationship, and I messed up. I did. Now, not to justify what I did, but Sean did ROTC in college, and eventually commissioned into the National Guard. During his first year in the Guard, he was extremely busy. He had his military duties and, on top of that, his regular 9-to-5 job. In a moment of selfishness, I met a really attractive guy, and the next thing I know, I'm cheating on my fiancé at the time. I was a selfish person and figured he would never find out. Well, the guy I was cheating with ended up stalking both myself and Sean, so Sean found out. It was a messy situation, and I hate that I put him through that. Sean broke off the engagement and still refuses to speak with me. Amina stopped being my friend, but we reconnected a year ago when we bumped into each other at the airport lounge. She got permission from Sean to rekindle our friendship, but Sean still refuses to speak with me, unfortunately. I can't say Amina and I are best friends like we used to be, but we are friends. Recently, Amina had a birthday dinner with all her boyfriend's friends, plus all of her own. Her male friend Ron is extremely attractive, put together, in great shape, good job, etc. Today I called her during our lunch break to ask for Ron's contact information and to put in a good word for me. She said no and asked me not to date him. She said he's a good friend, and after what happened with her brother, she doesn't want to go through that again. I told her I'm a changed person, and she contradicted herself, saying she believes me but still doesn't want me dating her friend. It's just weird. I'm not sure whether I should get his contact information some other way or just accept it. I just don't think she has the right to prevent me from dating her friend. Now for the top comments before reading the update. I just don't think she has the right to prevent me from dating her friend. Sure, you can date him all you want if he wants to date you too, but it wouldn't be unreasonable for her to warn her friend that you cheated on her brother in the past. 4 years is not that long ago. If you've changed, then good for you, but you can't expect everyone to just forget about it. I don't know. I feel it would be unreasonable. I was in my early 20s at the time. I think as a society, we need to give people the room to grow. We shouldn't constantly throw mistakes of their past in their face. She's valid. You romantically hurt someone she loves. And if she loves this friend, I think it's fair for her to worry about you having a romance with him as well. I did that when I was young and dumb. I was in my early 20s at the time. I've bettered myself. I already faced the consequences of my poor actions. And you've only just gotten her to be your friend again. You're basically still on probation and asking her to give you someone else's contact info and to go to bat for you. You claim to have changed, but why should she believe you? Because you pushed some air past your vocal cords? What matters more to you right now? Protecting your fragile friendship or trying to date some dude you just met? Either way, your friend is completely justified in not wanting to give you the contact info and also warning her friend about your history. She technically doesn't have say in who you date, but she can choose to not give you his contact info. If you want to stay friends with her, I would not pursue Ron. But if you truly don't care about the friendship and you find his contact info another way, that's your call. But if Ron would ever say to Amina that he's talking to you, she'll likely tell him what happened in the past, so then he would need to decide what he wants to do with that information. I care about the friendship, but it's hurtful she won't give me the grace and accept I've bettered myself. She doesn't owe you another chance, OP. You can't feel hurt for not getting what you are not owed. Imagine if your friend said she doesn't want you dating her friends because she thinks you'll cheat on them. That's pretty freaking hurtful. It would be hurtful if you hadn't literally done that. You're asking people to just trust that you changed, but you can't prove that you actually have. She's right to be wary. Update a year later. Years ago, when I was younger, I made the worst decision of my life and cheated on the love of my life and fiancé. I messed up, and I love him so much. I lost so much because of that stupid freaking mistake. That man I love is my friend's brother. During that time, she and I stopped being friends after my screw-up, but we rekindled. She's getting married in June. It will be the first time I see Sean since we split. I'm ready to win him back, but I don't know how. You don't. There are millions of good matches out there. You take what you learned, and you find somebody new. You deserve happiness, and he deserves to have the painful past in the past. If you can't control yourself, don't go to the wedding. If you remain convinced and intend to still go and try, you really need to ask yourself why you are obsessed with this idea. You are allowed to move on from your mistakes and find love. There is no single person that is the one for us. So why the obsession? No one can ever replace the history we had. His sister was my best friend growing up. Him and I were childhood friends, high school sweethearts. I just want one more chance. No one can change the past, that is true, including the fact you cheated on him. I recommend counseling. It'd be one thing if you were, what if he lets me know he's interested? But no, you are actively trying to make a plan to make it happen. He was the victim. You are creating a scenario where he will have to relive what you did to him. That is, you will be harming him again, at your friend's wedding. Stop being naive, dramatic, and emotional about things you can't control. If he was interested in you, he would have let you know. What happened to Ron? I didn't pursue Ron because you all told me to respect my friend's boundaries and not pursue him. Last story. Dated for 7 years, and he dumped me by email in 2022. Now his brother wants me to send my ex a birthday message. I dated my now ex for most of my 20s, from 2015 to 22. Today, out of the blue, his younger brother messaged me saying he's putting together a birthday video for him and thought I might want to send something funny. And honestly, I'm in shock, going through so many emotions. In 2022, my ex, then 35 male, broke up with me, then 28 female, in the coldest, most distant way possible. We were doing long distance, for the first time after 6 years of dating, while I was away at college, and I'd fly out to see him every few months. I had just spent 2 weeks at his house, then flew back to school to start a new semester. That first week back, during our usual Thursday video call, he ended the conversation by telling me, "You should check your email." I opened it after we hung up and found an audio file, a recorded breakup message he had emailed me on Monday. He literally ended our relationship after years in an audio file that he emailed to me, but only told me about 3 days later. I sat there in disbelief, and he wasn't texting me back. I didn't sleep at all that night. We FaceTimed that weekend, and he said he didn't love me anymore because I was focused on my education. But he said nothing during the 2 weeks I was staying with him the week prior. So now, years later, to be asked to participate in this birthday surprise video feels surreal. Part of me wants to laugh at the absurdity of it all, because his younger brother knows all about how our breakup happened. He repeatedly told my ex, his older brother, that he would regret breaking up with me, that if he wasn't already married, he would happily marry me, and that my ex was making a mistake letting me go. I've made my peace with it and have moved on. I don't live in that state anymore, like totally moved on. I've been laughing at the absurdity of it all, and a small quiet part of me is just heartbroken. Anyway, I guess I just needed to get that off my chest before I decide what to do. He probably told people a different version of what happened and that it was mutual and amicable. That's the only reason that makes sense why his brother would ask. Yes, he did say the breakup was mutual. He wanted to even stay to friends on social media and quietly delete our relationship status. I agreed, but eventually changed the captions on our photos and tagged pictures with him exposing the breakup and his insecurities. When someone told him months later, he unfriended me on everything. Send back the audio recording with happy birthday and don't reply to anything else. The audacity of his brother. Let the truth be heard, LOL. Whatever you do, do not reply the brother or anyone around him. You are about to be sucked into a narcissistic circle and it will destroy you. I promise you the brother knows, but they want to test your mental and emotional boundaries and strength to see if they can mess with you again. If you reply, you will get follow-up message of apologies, and then explanation, and then promises. You will open old wound and begin to rationalize, and that's where you lose the last thread of self-love and preservation. Yeah, sadly I actually did respond back to the brother, and you're right. He did reply with, "Oh my god, sorry I brought all that back up." He's trying to hype me up to participate. But I've been told I should just block both my ex's brothers and unfriend his family from my socials.